Back to the press conference that is about to start.
I'll ask a few questions, and then I will give it to the floor. Jan, I know it's a difficult moment and game. Thank you so much for joining us. And some questions will certainly be difficult, so they need to be asked. First, a question I have is about the mistake. Why did it happen?
Well, I don't think those questions are difficult because, yeah, basically, in another iteration, it would be a draw like in 15 moves after Queen E1, check Queen E7. Yeah, but I would say it was like a change of slightly weird decisions. So starting with King F8, yeah, like this was like somewhat more artificial than just Queen E7. Yeah, trading away the queens and basically finishing the game quickly. But that wasn't actually such a big deal. I think it's still very natural position, like it's almost equal. But yeah, perhaps after H4 C4 it became slightly unpleasant. So perhaps instead of H4 I could just chase the queen like with Queen D6, intending Rook E6. So it would also be closer to equality. And well, I mean, indeed B5 was just a very bad blunder. But I believe at that moment the position became like slightly unpleasant, but still it was, I believe, closer to a draw. But I mean, of course, after B5, it's, well, probably I didn't defend in the best way, but it becomes really unpleasant, and I guess, frankly speaking, it's hard to defend after such a blunder.
What did you overlook? Did you see the Queen A3 check threat and thought there was something that you had as a counter, or?
Yeah, I mean, indeed I saw it, but I forgot that in the line King G8, Queen A7, B takes C4, actually bishop is hanging, yeah, so, but once again, at this moment, it's, especially after D takes C4, it's not as, straightforward draw as it used to be.
Such a game must be extremely difficult. At the moment when you realized you had blundered, your reaction when you saw it, or what point did you realize it?
Well, I wasn't quite happy, yeah. But I mean, in general, well, the task remains the same. Yeah, I get to try to win some games. So since anyway I was down on scores, so now it's instead of 1 win I need 2 wins. So let's see what will happen.
Final question in this part, your Queen to E7 avoidance, did you just not want to play a quick game, or were you trying to keep some fight alive?
No, I mean, okay, I just didn't see a big difference between Queen E7 and King F8, so I thought that anyway it will end quickly in a draw. But yeah, I mean, of course after H5 I was, sort of expecting more tense game, but yeah, okay, Queen E1 was a brilliant practical decision, yeah, just to offer a draw silently.
Thanks, Magnus. I guess immediate feelings after such a win.
Yeah, very happy with the results. Obviously, that's yeah. What can I say? It's huge. Otherwise, I'm pretty tired, and looking forward to the rest there.
The opening, you seemed a bit surprised. You took a long time after his H5 to play Queen E1. What were you thinking about at this point? Yeah,
I was a bit confused. I mean, I thought Black's really not supposed to go bishop d6 there, and h5. Obviously, I couldn't completely know whether it was preparation or not, although I suspected that it was not. Well, anyway, I just sat thinking for so long that I couldn't, I couldn't like calculate properly. So I decided just to trade queens, and then probably was just going to be a draw. Of course, I was hoping slightly that he would go for King f8, since I thought I'd have a risk-free position there. Yeah, after that, the game was kind of pleasant for me. I don't think it's very easy for Black to force a draw, and as long as you cannot force the draw, then so it's going to be like a little bit of pressure that you have to neutralize. Yeah, then of course, yeah, b5 puzzled me as well because I thought that was a blunder, and yeah, that was. I think, yeah, both of us were pretty tired at that point, but it always helps to have the initiative in that case. Your
reaction in full when b5 actually came on the board, you were puzzled. At some point, you must have realized that this was a big mistake.
No, I suspected it was a mistake. Like I thought it was just a blunder. But I had plenty of time, so I thought I'll double check, see what he's intending, and turned out it was nothing.
At the end, you seemed especially careful to make sure that you won the game. The precision at that point was just abundance of caution.
Yeah. For instance, I could have traded h4 for b3 earlier, which probably wins pretty easily, but I thought I can always do that later. I have plenty of time. There's no reason to force things quite yet. So yeah, I thought the win is not going away. Let's just be really careful.
At a point of being up +2 in a match of this duration with 6 games to go, how do you avoid feeling or not feeling overconfident or relaxing when you have such a significant lead?
I think you just focus on the next game always. That's I mean, there's still 6 games to go against a very strong opponent, so it's never easy. But yeah, clearly 2 games is makes a huge difference to just one.
Sorry, final question for you on my part, Jan. You're down 2. How do you avoid not feeling like this is really a Herculean challenge?
No, well, I believe it's about the level of chess. So I think in the beginning of the match I got quite some chances, and hopefully if I play well, I will keep getting these chances. Yes, it's about my own play. And I don't think I should think about the score, but yeah, indeed, it would be better to have like an equal score instead of this one. But we have what we have.
I'll open the floor to the journalists. Remember to use the microphones and keep your masks on. I will start here.
Mike Klein with chess.com. This question's for the champion. Late in the game, Magnus, there was a moment I don't think you were at the board where Jan put his head in his hands. Looked visibly more emotional than in the past. What goes through your mind when you see your opponent go through those emotions, and do you ever feel sympathy?
Yeah, I didn't particularly see that, but the World Championship is tough. You know, it's really brutal emotionally with its ups and downs, and it's part of what makes it exciting and also extremely tough.
Hans Solbakken from NRK. Question to Jan Nepomniachtchi. How do you rate your performance today?
Well, in general, I'd like to apologize for today's performance.
Why?
It was probably far below than not even, let's say, my normal level, but in general, I think it was below than just a GM level.
Were you tired after 3 on the 3rd day of playing?
No, I don't think it's about being tired. It's like some weird sequence of choices, but yeah, I mean, I'm just looking forward for the next games.
Yeah, Nicholas from Aftenposten in Norway. I have a question for you, Magnus. You spent many games drawing since 2016 in the World Championships. Now you have won 2 games in 3. What has been the key to that change?
Yeah, I think, to be honest, this second win probably doesn't happen without the first. So everything is kind of connected. For instance, I think if I'd won the first game against Carano when I had a winning position, or he had won one of the 2 games where he had a winning position. Things could have turned out a lot different. There could have been a lot more decisive games. So it's not a shock that the second one comes quickly after the first.
How do you see your chances to win the match now?
They're very good.
Hi, Saravanan from ChessBase. Question to Magnus. When Jan played h5 on the 9th move, you took a long think, and at that point, commentators and the engines were suggesting either rook e1 or c4, probably active play against a move like h5. Obviously, you must have considered that also. What made you choose queen e1 instead of a move involving c4 rather than queen e1, which might lead to queen e7 and queen exchange and so on?
Yeah, I would say my brain was just fried, and I felt that a sharp battle was not in my interests. So I was trying to calculate the lines if I'd gone for one of the principled options, but I couldn't. I couldn't like get any good results from it. So in the end, I decided that I'll play queen e1, and if he plays queen e7, it's probably going to be a draw, and I would be fine with that.
Okay, does that mean that queen e1 was a decision over the board? It was not in your files or your preparation?
Yeah, I didn't know the move h5. So. I mean, if I'd known the move h5, I wouldn't think for 40 minutes and play a move that's so insipid.
Thank you.
Rune from Chess24. First, a question from Magnus. What move surprised you the most, h5 or b5?
I mean, that's a weird question. I guess they were both surprising, but b5, b5 obviously. You don't expect your opponent to blunder.
Okay, and Jan, you are earning a lot of new fans online due to the way you handle these press conferences, even after a painful game. Mm-hmm. How do you manage to stay so cool?
No, but I would say it's not the first game I lost in my career, though particularly this one was one of the worst, perhaps. Sadly, I think it's not the last game. So I think it's a part of the game, and it's a part of, learning at some point. So once again, we have what we have.
Well, thank you.
Sagar Shah from ChessBase India. My question is to Jan.